Welcome to a not game day edition of Boy Green Daily on a Sunday. Sort of weird, but nonetheless, we'll talk some football, some Jets, and some other stuff. Special guest, all that more. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this shit.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Happy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. And like I said, it's a little weird. It's a Sunday, so I got up and my juices were flowing, as they are on any day, I guess. And yet, it's not a game day for the Jets. They play tomorrow night on Monday Night Football, which we will have full coverage here on the channel on Monday Night Football. But nonetheless, we are here. We do have a special guest. He'll be joining us here in a moment here on the program. And I think he is ready. So without further ado, let me get the confirmation in the green room. Thumbs up. Special guest, are you ready to go? He is. So let's introduce him. Let's bring him on the show. A surprise special guest. But always when an opening exists, I make a call to this guy. And he joins us right now. It is, and you can spell it out to the crowd. Every time he walks into a stadium, he just points 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then the crowd normally yells, yeah. It's DKB joining us here on a Sunday. He's back, baby. What's up, DKB?
What's the good word, boss? How you been?
Oh, I've been good, man. But not as good because you haven't been on the show, man. So it's great to have you back here on the program, talking all things Jets. How have things been going for you on your bustling channel, DKB?
Recovering from being sick, so I haven't dropped as much content lately.
Sure.
But you know that as good as you can be with an 0-3 start.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. So let's get into that right off the bat here. The Jets faced a difficult start to the season. We all knew about this. We talked about this during the offseason, but, none of us Jet fans were expecting. Well, I won't speak for everybody in the universe, but I'll speak for myself. I certainly wasn't expecting 0-3 despite what was there. I thought there was a path to making some things happen. Unfortunately, it has not happened yet so far. What's sort of your 30,000-foot view of the Jets' 0-3 start to the season? Because this is the first time us having you on in a couple of weeks, and glad you're getting healthier. That's good news. So give us the 30,000-foot view. We land here at 0-3 before we have another 0-3 team enter the proverbial octagon with one team coming out with a win tomorrow night.
Yeah, not the end of the world, right? I think Aaron Glenn has captured it pretty well. No moral victories, but there's been enough good things in each game that you have seen that consistently. You can take that, you can build on that, right? I think when we've looked at the various 0-2 and 0-3 starts that we've had compared to other regimes, we've done one thing really well, and we've seen multiple other things continue to break, right? And I can't say that's necessarily been the case with our first 3 losses here, but you expect that this defense will get turned around at some point, right? Maybe we have the Robert Saleh year 1 effect here, but ideally you expect the defense to improve, which should drastically change the ability for us to win as well. I think we put up more points than anybody can feasibly remember within the 3-game stretch so far. So I'm still positively optimistic about the rest of the season. I think he's right. We still have 14 games, Dolphins coming up, 6-game stretch here that looks really good for us to potentially break even, if not crack that 500 mark. So not the end of the world for me right now.
Okay. Well, I will tell you, you talked about the disappointing defense, and we'll get into that in a lot of layers here on the show, but one of the most disappointing players for me, and this hurts, this guy's a fan favorite as far as I'm concerned, is Michael Carter II, man. Before the start of last year, he gets the record-breaking deal, which I think all Jet fans are like, blessed be he. That's great news. A day 3 pick that's developed into this terrific player. This is going to be awesome news. And last year, he battles through a lot of injuries, so it's hard to even really evaluate what he put on the field because he was just plagued by injuries all year long. And they tried to do this weird snap count thing where he played in a lot of games but didn't play all the time. And they tried to get the most juice out of the orange, and that clearly didn't work. So getting healthy this offseason, I'm like, great, we're going to go back to the MC2 he was before, which is great. And it was, to me, a foregone conclusion. I didn't even think twice what kind of Michael Carter we were going to get. And to be blunt, he's been awful so far. And now in ESPN's Rich Cimini's column, which he drops every Sunday morning, which has a lot of interesting fun facts and nuggets and things of that nature, which is directly linked down below. Shout out to Rich Cimini. He says Michael Carter II could be a cap casualty this offseason if the Jason Brownlee trade works out, which Jarvis Brownlee, excuse me. If Jason Brownlee, good times. To be honest, when I saw Brownlee was getting traded here, I thought it was Jason Brownlee. I thought he was coming back home. Then I was like, oh, Jarvis, not Jason. But that's neither here nor there. We could get into that later. But the Jets traded for a starting corner this week in Jarvis Brownlee Jr. from the Tennessee Titans. And it says if that works out in any form or fashion, the Jets will be able to get out from the MC2 contract, cut his ass, move on for him, maybe trade him perhaps. And then Jarvis Brownlee Jr. takes over for him in the slot. And I heard that from Connor Hughes this week as well on the Jets mailbag segment, that from his sources, the Jets plan is for Jarvis to be a slot guy. And the only starting slot guy was MC2. So he would have to take his job inevitably here this season. So a couple of things here. Your reaction to Rich Cimini saying Michael Carter II could be chopped liver this offseason. And what do you make of the dramatic fall from grace? It's been stunning.
Yeah, this is why like player scouting and development is so complex, right? So the reason that you can see guys in the top 10 that seem like they can't really play a lick of football is because of the physical talents, right? So when you look at MC2, off the top of my head, I think 5'9-ish, 180-ish, pounds soaking wet.
Sure.
That's not a guy that you expect to survive 17 games on the football field, if we're being honest, especially as a slot cornerback. You talk about some of these bigger guys that they're putting in the slot he has to defend, let alone the opportunity for guys to reach that second level and go, clean his clock. So with him already coming off of some significant injuries, he doesn't have a body that's necessarily built to go out there and handle, banging, shoulder pass to shoulder pass for 17 games. He's kind of at a disadvantage, right? He has to go through just having nicks and bruises. He can't afford ankle injuries and stuff like he suffered through. So I'm not necessarily surprised with the new scheme that he has to work with and coming off of injuries that can end up creeping back on you really quick, that he's struggling. I will say I wasn't expecting it to this degree. He does also, playing the nickel back position, it does lend you to looking worse than an outside cornerback because you don't have the plus of being able to press a guy to the line of scrimmage, right? Knock him out of a play or anything like that. You have to be on your P's and Q's at all times. The reason we paid him was because he was playing at an insane level. I think literally at the time we gave him the contract, he was the number 1 rated slot cornerback in the league. Definitely somewhere in the top 3 at the time. But it's really easy to be able to go out there and put him on an island, put him in bad situations just from a matchup perspective. And so I don't think you see many 6+ guys walking around at nickel cornerback anyways. That's just kind of the trend out there. But I don't see him potentially being lost, to address the other question, as really a major problem for us, right? If this is what we've got for the last year, and we're seeing the same trend this year, plus there's more health concerns with him. What are we doing here? Move on. And, we had, when I was looking at this roster from the offseason, we bring in a Jordan Clark, which seemed like kind of the perfect understudy for him as the cheap replacement guy,
Sure.
Kind of your Mason Taylor light for that position. And then now you talk about Jarvis Brownlee being added into the mix. I don't know if I buy into putting him at slot. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me when you consider they thought that they could fix Brandon Stevens early. That would be my assumption, right?
Yeah.
You pay that man the money because you think he can come in and he won't be the major liability that he's been. You don't go and take another quote unquote reclamation project. I like Jarvis Brownlee a fair bit after looking into him, but he's not a coverage guy. So we have to understand what we're getting with him. If you put him in the slot, I think it's on the basis that he's going to go out there and punish guys and run defense and act as a third linebacker for you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But he's played almost his entire life at outside cornerback, right? I think literally maybe 3 games, counting college and NFL combined, where he's really been playing mostly in the slot. So you're going to play him out of position. That's going to be another huge learning curve and stuff. And you essentially get the same kind of play that you're getting out of MC2 right now, with maybe a slight bump, right? So I don't know if I'd do that. If anything, I'd definitely consider just sticking Brandon Stevens on the bench and replacing him with Jarvis Brownlee on the outside. You can do some things schematically to clean up what's happening on the middle of the field. But yeah, it's just not a great situation, right? I think a lot of the promise was that the staff that AG built specifically for the secondary was going to be able to give us that developmental boost like we saw with linebackers and Robert Saleh. And it's year 1 and it's 3 games in, it's early, yada, yada. But it hasn't looked great so far, clearly.
It has not, and I'm going to be honest. I liked a lot of the staff that Aaron Glenn put together, and specifically in the secondaries where I was really confident of the staff. And I'm like, okay, well, at least we're going to be on our P's and Q's there. They have Sauce, who I think they can bring him back to the level that he was at earlier in his career. Again, I told you guys I was super high on MC2. Brandon Stevens, I didn't like, but I went, well, if I'm going to question anybody on anything, it's not going to be corner for Aaron Glenn. If that's what he thinks, okay. Hopefully him and his teaching, because he had all of these different rants this offseason about coaching is teaching is learning, and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, who am I going to question him about cornerback play? So that makes sense to me. It obviously is not translated to the field, at least during the regular season. He apparently was the player of training camp. But, we don't get wins for training camp. We get wins for the spotlight being on the field. So, but just to clarify and make sure we have this right. So if the Jets Mafia brings Michael Carter to you and he's got 2 cinder blocks tied to his leg, are you going to have any problem with them pushing him in the river?
Oh, what are you doing to me? Yeah, he probably has to go. At that price point, at that price point and the level he's playing at, like when we inevitably somehow get into these positions where we have a guy that locally we consider a star and they end up playing like the bottom third of their position, you can't really make a lot of excuses for them, right? Whether it's due to injury or not. We've seen other plenty promising players we had to give the chops to because they just couldn't stay on the field. So now that that's also creeping up into the conversation, they have no allegiances to these guys. We can't forget, like it's a blood in, blood out type business. So if they don't love what he brings outside of what they've seen already, he's a gunner.
Yeah, he's got 2 years left beyond this year on his contract, but there is an out after the season where they'd eat about $8 million in dead cap, which again they can make all kinds of decisions on if they want to split that in the future, take all that on the chin, or what have you. This is the first opportunity in this contract to get out of it with the most minimal amount of blood there for MC2. So, folks, which is incredibly sad to hear. If you would have told me this before the season, I would have been like, "What are you guys smoking?" But nonetheless, we got to be willing to adapt. I love MFC gifting a Boy Green Coffee Club membership here. Mother effing chew, baby. Membership went to Jeff Johnson in the Boy Green Coffee Club universe. So shout out to Jeff Johnson. And that is 14 raffle tickets for MFC. But speaking of those draft chimes, my man, DKB, yesterday, Jets general manager Darren Muji visited the old Penn State campus to get a look at Drew Alon, apparently, which I found fascinating. Shout out to Pete Thamel of ESPN, College Football Insider, who revealed that a strong contingent of New York Jets representation there Now, I'll be honest, I wrote a piece about this yesterday, and it's not fair to ever do this, but, you know, Christian Hackenberg. We sort of don't have this great relationship with Penn State quarterbacks, and they're different players, so it's not fair to say this at all. But that sort of gives me the heebie-jeebies because not only is Christian Hackenberg considered one of the biggest busts in Jets history as a second-round draft choice, 51st overall, and he never played a regular season snap, which seems befuddling. How could you not at least push him out there to see what would have happened? I mean, that seems bizarre. But it also affected, as I wrote the piece, the 2017 draft plans because it was the mystery box of Family Guy where, well, it could be a boat. Anything could be in the box. So the Jets went, let's punt on quarterback one more year and see what happens. They could have taken Patrick Mahomes, and according to Rich Cimini, and I didn't even remember this much, but going back to that draft, apparently the Jets did a lot of homework and were intrigued by Patrick Mahomes, but Mike McCagnon refused to give up on Christian Hackenberg. So Todd Bowles was ready to move on from Christian Hackenberg, but Mike McCagnon wasn't. So they ended up taking Jamal Adams, and hey, that led to Garrett Wilson. So, there's all these ripple effects in the NFL of what would have happened if you take one thing out. But Christian Hackenberg, effed us because he wasn't very good. And effed us so we didn't take a quarterback in 2017. Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes were on the board. You could say what you want about Deshaun Watson's off-the-field activities, but on the field, he looked like the next Patrick Mahomes when he was playing. So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about, Penn State quarterbacks, which, again, is probably unfair to Drew Allar. I don't know how much draft work you've done. Hopefully none, DKB, is the answer to your question here on September 28th for the Jets, because I'm not ready for that yet. But because it's a big quarterback and because the GM was there, any of your commentary on seeing that yesterday?
Yeah, I was excited. I think at the very least, they do their homework, right? It makes no sense to say that we're not going to be in the quarterback market based on anything we've seen from Justin Fields or Tyrod. So the good news is we have people out there, right? I think literally last year, maybe it was the year before, there were top quarterbacks and we weren't going to these games. We didn't have these guys going out to like the all-star events because we didn't have them, which is also why I gave some grace to what we were doing on like day 3, right? With some of these picks, because it felt like they probably went all in on the first day or two, and then they were scrambling a little bit. But I don't necessarily subscribe to the thought process of like certain schools just continuously produce bad quarterbacks or anything like that. I think that's looking at things in a vacuum. Me and my boy Gunny, New York Jets Situation Report, we get into it all the time because he hates USC quarterbacks to death, and it's not like I found any that I loved, but like he was laying Caleb Williams to the slaughter when we were chatting about it. But at the very least, it's a smart move for Darren Muji, again, early in the process, get as much intel, etc. But we also can't forget Garrett Wilson at one point had tweeted out something like Drew Allar was like one of the best quarterbacks that he's seen or something at that in the college landscape. And I'm pretty sure that was just a year ago.
Wow. Okay.
So at least there's interest there, right? When you talk about this weird idea of potentially moving on from a Justin Fields, right? And what that does with Garrett Wilson after, he's been hyped up. And once again, he's losing out on a guy that he feels he could connect and build with. You can at least make the conversation that if Drew Allar does live up to becoming that guy, if we have a top pick, this is an easier transition for Garrett Wilson to be on board with. He's happy with the quarterback. It's a guy that he can grow within that rookie contract for, speaking about said quarterback. So at least with Allar, it's kind of that same Hackenberg conversation, as sad as I don't want to put it out there, just in terms of, he brings the 6'4", 6'5" frame, and he's over 200, and the arm is huge. And we know Penn State produces freaks across the board at all positions and stuff. So the traits you'll fall in love with, and you've seen some jumps in improvement from Drew Allar. I haven't checked him out a ton yet. But just from what I've been keeping up with Connor Rogers, it doesn't seem like he's just taken off and become this, elite number one undisputed guy. There's still some stuff he's trying to shake loose, but it's not out of the conversation that we could end up seeing him in green and white.
Interesting. Well, here it is. Also, I appreciate Rich Cimini doing this in his piece because it's hard to keep up. Darren Trader Muji has been trading picks left and right. So I'm like, well, what picks do we even have? Well, thankfully, Rich Cimini provided us with this. I'll throw this up on the screen. I tweeted this out this morning. Here are the picks the Jets have in the 2026 NFL draft. They have their first round pick, second round pick, fourth round pick, sixth, and 2 7s. That's all the picks they have. They don't have a third and fifth. Those were traded away. But these are all the picks they have. Now, over the cap actually projects, Rich Cimini has it as 2 picks from over the cap. It's actually 3 picks. They updated it this morning. They are projected for 3 compensatory picks. And they're no longer projected to get a pick for Hassan Reddick anymore, which is interesting. It's all these machinations with playing time and money spent. There's all these kinds of rules that go into it. Hey, they're way smarter at me than this. So they are projected to receive 3 compensatory picks, a 5th rounder for Morgan Moses and a 7th rounder for Tyler Conklin and Brandon Eccles, those players going to other places and getting playing time. So the Jets could have as many as 9 draft picks in the 2025 NFL draft. They currently have 6, and we won't know the comp picks until after the year. So there's just a little update there from a draft pick compensation perspective. So we'll see what happens there. But again, shout out to Rich Cimini for catching up on that. Let's get into Justin Fields and your analysis so far. So he is the Jets quarterback. He is returning on Monday Night Football. He cleared the NFL's concussion protocol. What I did not know is yesterday, and I wrote a piece about this morning, this was the first concussion Justin Fields said of his life. So I was unaware of that. I thought he had one in college, but I must have been mistaken. And Justin Fields apparently went through it, because there was a Dan Graziano report in the middle of the week at DKB where it said, I don't know if he's going to be ready. You know, there's been some choppy waters, and a lot of people overreacted. And then Justin Fields was a full participant. We said, Dan Graziano, what a loser. He had no idea what he was talking about. But Justin Fields' comments seemed to confirm what Dan Graziano said. He said on Sunday or Monday, he reverted back to the earlier symptoms from the beginning of the concussion, which was going to send him back and give him complications. But apparently all those dissipated, and now he's going to be good to go for Monday Night Football. So Justin Fields is healthy. Great news. And again, I didn't know it was his first concussion. But what do you think? We've only seen 2 games. One was one of his best career performances of all time, and the other one was one of his worst career performances of all time. So it's been a little Jekyll and Hyde so far, DKB.
Yeah, that's the wild swing. I think at the minimum, everybody would have expected if we paid attention to anything he's done with Chicago. I can relate to the concussion stuff, though. I don't think that was necessarily as crazy. Like I remember the car accident from, I don't know, a while back now. But I felt fine, right? Like was able to walk away and all that kind of stuff. On the way home, maybe late that night or like early the next day, started having like a lot of weird, couldn't recall stuff too great and like all that kind of stuff, right? And then ended up being checked out, and they were telling me I had a concussion. So if it's his first time, and if I'm relating it to kind of the same experience I have, I can see where it takes him a while to kind of work through that, right? But as far as his performance, we haven't seen enough. Like you've seen him look like one of the top, maybe week 1, top 3, top 5 performances of that week. And it's not like he blew the world, lit the world on fire, but he was very efficient. He utilized his legs in a way that I don't think many people were expecting. I think the way I hear a lot of fans talk about it is we'll see him rush 10 to 15 times a game, and he's putting up 130 yards every time on the ground. But I think he used his legs in a smart way. I'm going to buy time when necessary. He was so locked in week 1. That's what had me excited, right? I think I saw it in the pregame throws too. The way that he was whipping the ball and it was hitting guys in the numbers. And that's what impressed me, because I think he's not an underwhelmingly or overwhelmingly accurate player in either direction, but the ball placement is one of the things that you see a huge difference in between Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields, is that when he's making the throws he made in week 1, he's putting it on the numbers when guys are stationary and they're finding those soft spots and shell, or if it is man coverage and he's actually getting into a spot where guys can reach out and only they can have an opportunity to get it, or they actually have catch and run ability, or he's just avoiding those hospital balls where you're making a guy have to make that ridiculous acrobatic catch, and then you have a guy triggering downhill on him. It was impressive. We jump forward to the next week, and all of that goes out the window, right? So it's kind of what AG spoke about, honestly, where they're building up the foundation and the mechanics of what he's been doing, right? You don't try to reteach. Like I think about the Zach Wilson kind of rebranding they tried to do in year 3.
Yeah.
You can't truly just go out there and rebuild a guy in 1 year, right? So you'll see some of these games. As much as I said I was expecting kind of these wild variances, like to see just everything fall flat was a little disappointing. But I think if you just want to take a look at week 1 to week 2 and pray that week 1 is more of the guy that you're getting, I think we're just fine. Is it $30 million fine? Probably not. But week 1, Justin Fields is a guy that you can go out and win games with 6, 7 out of 10 times. And if that's the case, I think that is what you signed up for in year 1, where you can say, okay, we can build on this. We can see him potentially being a starter that's fighting for his job. If we get a quarterback in round 1, bridge guy, he'll be fine. So we'll see. I'm not excited with him coming off a concussion, clearly, but the Dolphins coming to town is at least a little bit of a good salve, right? A team that's been struggling specifically in the secondary as well. So you expect Justin Fields to come in and I don't want to oversell it, but like or I don't want to undersell the Dolphins. They're still a good team overall, but it's a decent walkthrough for him to come in and not feel like he has to play the number 1 defense in the league.
For sure. 2 things here. First off, so Jesus, you getting in a horrific car accident, DKB, is graphic material I wasn't expecting to be reading here on Sunday, September 28th, but I'm glad that you're okay. My first concussion came in football in high school. We're doing an Oklahoma drill. Mano y mano. I was the DB and I was facing a running back, our best running back on the team. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to take this mother out. And then the crowd's going to go crazy. There's no crowd. It was at practice, but I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to go crazy here. And I line up. I'm like, ooh, this boy's about to be seeing the turf. And then before you know it, I lower my helmet to try to take him out. He lowers his helmet lower than me, hits me right in the helmet-to-helmet contact, and I fly back. He trucks my ass, and everyone goes crazy. And I get up, and I go, Fuh! And I'm like, what the hell? And like my brain, I thought was working, but my mouth wasn't. So like the things I was saying were just coming out like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so, yeah, for the next 90 minutes, I couldn't speak. So I had, my mouth was inaccessible to say any words. So, but my brain was working. So I was like looking at people when they were taking me through all the concussion tests. I was like, oh, I'm not at it. But so I did lose speech for 90 minutes. And I've actually had a lot of concussions. I was in Taekwondo, so sparring, fighting, getting roundhouse kicked to the side of the head and blacking out. So like I've had a variety of concussions and those are not fun. So Justin, I'm glad that it seems to be going better for you recently from that perspective. So concussions are the worst. And everyone handles them differently, of course. There's all kinds of variations and things that can happen there from that perspective. I will just say that for Justin, to your observations, it has been a wild roller coaster ride so far. We've gotten the highs, we've gotten the lows. I'm just looking for some consistency. What is the average Justin Fields day going to look like when we start getting through the peaks and valleys, and then all of a sudden it starts stabilizing? What does the stabilization look like for Justin Fields in this Dolphins game, and just quite frankly moving forward? Because that's going to be the bulk of your batting average of what we're going to expect moving forward, and I don't think we've seen it yet so far. So I'm excited to see him because I've seen enough of Tyrod, that 36-year-old old bastard. If he has to come in because of injury, so be it. But I want to see Justin Fields for the majority of this season and answer the question: is he the guy or is he not the guy? Now everything suggests he's not the guy. 13, 3 years, all that jazz, but we don't know 1,000%. So let's see what the season is going to be for old JF7. It's great to have him back. Excuse me. From that perspective. So, hey, let's see what happens. Let's see Tanner Angstrand, right? Week 1 looked great. Week 2 did not. And some people say from their all-22 studying, that's not my bag. I respect the people that do it, is that there were some open guys and Justin just didn't see him. So maybe Tanner didn't didn't not cook as much as some people suggested they did based on the results of his quarterback play from Justin Fields. So I think that'll be a nice bounce back opportunity as well from that perspective. Let me ask you this because I saw it from Easy. Shout out to Easy in the chat. We'll open up the phone lines here in a little bit. Is tomorrow night a must-win game, DKB?
I think it just depends on the expectations, right? I mean, some people really hate Justin Fields, and I was hearing like 0-17 chatter. If you expect some kind of competitive team this year,
Yeah.
it is must win, right? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
competitive can mean a bunch of different things. People just want to be mathematically not eliminated, the first quarter of games, etc.
Fair.
But I think when I was looking at realistically what should be some year one goals for Aaron Glenn, at least breaking even in the division was one of those for me. And that either
Yeah.
was going to need to come by a sweep at some point, or you were breaking even with all three teams within our division. The way the Dolphins look, at least on paper, I would say we match up pretty well. You should be able to sweep them. Mike McDaniels looks like a dead man walking. Same thing with GM. So, they have that kind of rigor to them where we don't want to be in that situation the Jets were in last year where we get our head coach fired a couple weeks into the season. We should win. I think that's the black and white of it for me. We should win. It's not really a matter of if it's make or break. This is one of those things where, well, I don't know if I can say talent-wise we're necessarily better, just looking at the whole thing. But defensively, we shouldn't be as much of a liability, and there's enough on offense for us to win. So I do expect this to be a W. With that said, the AFC is really weird this year with the amount of like 1-2 teams and 0-3 teams that are out there. So if we were to fall to 0-4, I can't even say that puts us out of contention of winning a couple games here down the stretch over these next couple weeks and not being right back into the picture. But yeah, my thought process is it's a game that we should win, and I expect to win.
Okay. Well, I'm in the must-win category. Absolutely. There's just no excuse for an 0-3 Dolphins team with everything that you just said. With this team like hanging on the edge, and you can punch them in the mouth. They're woozy in the old boxing ring there. Like, now is the time for the Jets to just, I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl after potentially winning this game, but the Jets just got to find a way. You can't lose to the 0-3 Miami Dolphins. Let me ask you two questions here. First one is a setup for the second one. How big of a trivia guy are you, DKB?
Depends on the subject.
All right. Cue the music, people in the back. Y'all die. Here's the question. When is the last time the New York Jets beat the Dolphins in Miami?
Jesus.
Okay, don't fuck this up now. We need you.
2015?
Is that your final answer?
I'd have to guess. It's the last time I remember a decent team being rolled out.
I'm afraid that's incorrect, DKB. But you were very close. It was 2014, Rex Ryan's final game as a member of the New York Jets. Geno Smith's perfect game. Oh, yes, all the jazz. Here's, by the way, some of the commentary. It was Rex Ryan's final game. He gets carried off the field, and then he was immediately fired, of course. But, it was a good moment there where the Jets won 37-24. Like I said, Geno Smith was electric in the game. He had 358 yards, 3 touchdowns, 20-25. The receiving game was awesome. Eric Decker had 10 catches for 221 yards and a touchdown. That got him over the 1,000-yard barrier for the Jets. I mean, it was wow. A lot of exciting craziness from that game. Look at these names that caught passes. Zach Sudfeld, Chris Owosu, Jay Samaro, Jeremy Curley, Jeff Cumberland. I mean, look at that trip down memory lane. And, oh, yeah, Chris Johnson had a couple of carries in that game, too. CJ2K. Any great memories of that? I think it's been long overdue to finally win in Miami again. 11 years? Good Lord have mercy. Wow.
Yeah, I know I know the narrative is that this is the big announcement game potentially for Mason Taylor.
Yeah,
And then you got a
homecoming,
lot
right?
of the
Yeah.
connection and all that kind of stuff there. So yeah, you can't go. I guess that's a gem, right? It speaks to
Yeah.
how bad we performed within our division. You can't go that long like that. It almost feels, and this is where I understand the rivalry being a little bit different depending on who you talk to, but that's damn near right up there with us not beating the Patriots for, what was it, 14, 15 games
Yeah, yeah,
in a row
yeah,
before finally wiping up Bill Belichick last year, but or the year before.
yeah.
Um,
I don't think
yeah,
people realize this, but like again, here's the stats, and they're sort of jarring. The Dolphins have won 14 of the last 18 against the Jets. Think about that. They've been kicking our ass all over the place, but we don't put it for whatever reason. I don't know why, DKB, but we don't put it in the same category as the Patriots beating us because I guess it hasn't been it literally in a row, and the Jets have won the most recent one in the somewhat meaningless Aaron Rodgers 4 touchdown game. But like, yeah, they've been beating our ass with a rusty wrench, man.
yeah, and a lot of the talk I was hearing was like, two teams at the bottom of the division, yada yada. And I'm like, they've had their success. Like I understand why their head coach is on the hot seat and all that, but
Yeah.
let's not act like he wasn't lighting the world on fire for a couple of years there. With a different philosophy than the rest of the NFL when it comes to just relying solely on kind of this speed and not necessarily caring about a lot of the other stuff that people are looking for. But I don't think it's as much as I expected to be a win. I don't think it's a game where the Dolphins are just rolling over. With that said, though, if we're up 2, 3 possessions at one point, I wouldn't be surprised if you get like what's the name that I'm thinking of? Antonio.
Banderas?
No, 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 no. What was why am I blinking on his name? Bucks wide receiver.
Oh, Antonio Brown?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something wild like he would have did
Oh
out of
god.
Tyreek Hill here on the
Oh
sideline.
boy. Oh wow. We've
Yeah.
had a few of those weird situations, so you're saying there could be another one.
Yeah, the Tyreek Hill body language has not looked great these last couple of weeks, and you add on like the personal drama he has going on with the whatever domestic violence stuff and all that
Mhm.
craziness. Like the way people look at us, if you're getting blown out by the Jets and you're Tyreek Hill, I'm sure you're like, yeah, I'm punching my ticket in tonight.
Which it seemed like he did in the final game that we last saw these two teams, where that was one of the most bizarre post-game interviews I've ever seen where he went, "I'm out." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" And that he somehow is back. And okay, he wasn't voted a team captain. That doesn't surprise me based on how that ending went. But they still on the team is so weird. And like, is it fixed? It doesn't seem fixed. So yeah, very strange activities certainly happening there. All right, DKB, let me give you another chance at some. I don't even know if you could call this trivia, but I'm going to pretend and call it trivia. Here we go. Put the music back on, people. Here it is. Right now with the Jets at 0-3, what do you think their chances are, their percentage wise, of making the playoffs according to ESPN's FBI Power Index?
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell you. I'm gonna say we're somewhere between 6 and 8%.
Wow. That is unbelievable. You just absolutely nailed that. It is specifically 7.3%. You might want to play the lottery later today, DKP. That is an unbelievable nail job. Now, if the Jets drop to 0-4, it would be pretty hopeless. However, Jets wide receivers coach Sean Jefferson played for the only team in NFL history to make the playoffs after starting 0-4. He was on the then San Diego Chargers in 1992, who started 0-4, and they made the playoffs after that start to the season. So, if that happens, I hope not, because I really don't want to try to, spin a positive angle when you're 0-4. But Sean Jefferson once did it. So we're saying there's a chance.
Hey, that's all you need. Is I think we've seen the boost, specifically for the Jets, where like at least when we've had solid coaching staffs, right? But that win can either break the levee for us, and we start seeing a rotation of just positive things happening, or it's just going to be one of those situations. And I don't get this sentiment from this coaching staff and this roster, but it doesn't feel like they'll be riding off emotional highs or lows. If they get a win, I generally expect for them to be consistent in what we've seen, which is why
Okay.
week 2 was so jarring for me. But that didn't seem like an emotion thing, right? It didn't seem like we came out necessarily flat for the sake of being flat and not having energy and stuff. It was Justin Fields wasn't hitting on his P's and Q's. And why quarter 1 seems so important to me is that if Justin Fields looks good, cool. Team is bought in. We have a chance. We know where our struggles in the roster, specifically on offense, is. But if you go out there and you see Justin Fields missing wildly, right, or he's not making some of the reads you'd expect him to make, he's not giving guys the opportunity to go out there and make those catches, mentally, the team isn't built to be able to say, damn, this is going to be a long day already, and then bounce back from that. We just don't have the horses, and we don't have the experience winning enough to be able to overcome something like that. So that's really my concern. Like the first 15 minutes of a game, I think usually you can tell what this is going to look like for us.
Yeah, very fair. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We have over 300 people watching on my channels, but we're also streaming on the DKB channel. Yeah. And I see we've got B-Roo Karis. Morning, start your day with DKB, chiming in on the DKB channel. Salute. Make sure you guys like the video over there as well for the love of everything that's holy. And I'm seeing a lot of people surprised by the DKB in the morning thing. Hey, let's get that a more regular thing here, man. Grab your coffee and hop on in. So let's frickin' ride here, baby. Now, DKB, I need some positivity here, hopefully. The Jets are 0-3. That sucks. But even worse than the 0-3 potentially is the Jets defense has not forced a single takeaway yet so far this season. And if they don't get a takeaway on Monday Night Football, according to Rich Cimini, this will be the longest drought to start a season in 7 years. We'd have to go back to 2018, the last time the Jets had not created a takeaway on defense in the first month of a season. Is it going to happen on Monday Night Football with Tua turned the ball over?
I think it's tough to say, right? So I put this out there before, and I haven't found the best way of actually still putting this in proper context, right?
Okay.
But if we remember back to having Bryce Hall as a
Oh,
cornerback,
yeah.
when he was
Yeah.
on top of his game,
Yeah.
and obviously they're 2 worlds apart.
Yeah.
He was our Sauce Gardner, right? Meaning our CB1. The
Sure.
book on him was, hey, he can lock down. You're not getting much else. No forced fumbles, no interceptions. Guys aren't afraid to target him because they're not worried about, the ball coming back their way. That's essentially what's happening with Sauce Gardner. Now, when you look at CB2, worlds of difference for us, no matter which cornerbacks you want to go back to. We've decently done well at CB2. Brandon Stevens, different beast. I really
one
try
way
my
to put it.
best to be like, and there's nothing to say this still can't turn around, right? I think I bought into a lot of what we've seen from training camp, but turnstile isn't even the word. I don't. He's basically just like I don't know. I was going to say a jugs machine. That doesn't make sense either. But he's a wet mop out there for us. Like if you are playing up against Brandon Stevens, it's a good chance that you're going to have a successful day, right? Like I think me and you can comfortably walk out on the field.
Ooh, okay.
And if there was some kind of event where they brought a fan out during halftime and were like, hey, if you make one catch against Brandon Stevens, you win $1 million. Like I think there'd be a line down the block and around the stadium to say, let me get my $1 million. And the majority of people would be able to do it. It just doesn't look great. With Tua and him being within that timing-based offense, and a lot of what he does is trying to throw guys open, I think that does allow us some opportunity to be able to go out there and make something happen. I don't know if it happened from the secondary, though. I could see them tipping it and like a linebacker getting it or something like that. But I just don't have a lot of faith that anyone outside of potentially Malachi Moore right now will have a real opportunity to go out there and get a takeaway.
Let me just say this because you're right. There are a lot of different ways takeaways can come. They can come by basically your player just being a superstar and making this crazy play. But also, I would like to bring the laser pointer to point number 2, that it's an oblong-shaped football. For the love of God, it's just got to bounce randomly by accident, perhaps, in your hands. Like, to your point, a deflected ball jumps up the air. Oh, look! Intercepted. Like the week 5 Jets Steelers game when Garrett Wilson, it was last year, Garrett Wilson got that ball on the sideline at the end of the first half, and then he got whacked, and the ball just went whoop right into someone's hand. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. So there's been all kinds of moments like that in history. So that's all I'm asking for. Like, it would be cool for someone to make this Herculean effort to intercept the pass and take it away from a Brandon Marshall, where, Ryan Fitzpatrick throws an interception against the Cleveland Browns, and Brandon Marshall comes up and rips the ball away from him, starts running the other direction. Like, that's insane. Like, cool, yeah, sure, that'd be sweet. But I'll just take it any way I could get it. Fumble, pick, strip, anything of that nature would be terrific. Here's some positivity from Solitary Man 1971, baby, who's sending in a YouTube super chat. Let's hear from my daughters, Raya Luna.
Wow.
Jets were 2-5 the last time they won the AFC East in 2002. So maybe the Jets are just getting their losses out of the way so they can make a run to the AFC East crown. DKB, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. I don't think that's the way you want to start out trying to win the division.
Probably not. Probably not.
But it'd be a hell of a great story. And at least the Jets media
yeah.
team does a great job of piecing some of those trailers and whatnot together. So I'd sign up for it.
And by the way, Solitary Man 1970 with your $3 super chat, you got a raffle ticket to this month's contest. So thank you very much, my friend. And hey, bringing up memories. Hey, I'd love to wear. I know the Bills are sick of it. I heard Josh Allen say that they've won the division 5 years in a row. So in one of the games, I think it was last season, the season before, that they won the division, some Bills media rep gave him the T-shirt and hat that you win when you win the division, and to wear it. And he sort of threw it on his head, and he's doing this post-game interview. Oh my God, you've won the division for the 30th year in a row. Like, wow, how does it feel? He's like, I'm going to be honest. We don't care about this. We're just here for the playoffs. And I just thought, as a Jet fan, wow, he doesn't care about this. And I've been waiting for 23 years to try to see I'd be clutching onto the T-shirt hat combination from NFLshop.com like nobody's business if and when the Jets are able to go back to that. So I can't wait for that. So yeah, old Bills boy over there with their Super Bowl team could take that for granted. I would be clutching onto that like nobody's business. I would never forget. I'd probably hang a banner behind me for that AFC East divisional crown if we can get our grimy little hands on it. So that would be terrific if we can make that happen. So, fingers crossed from that perspective. That would be wonderful. Let's do this before we go to the phone lines here, DKB. Let's go to your Mason Taylor comment that you made earlier. And saying that this guy, he's sort of had a slow start. He's had 6 catches for 43 yards so far, but no one else has exactly stepped up. Josh Reynolds is going to make his return. He's no longer on the injury report for that hamstring, so he's missed the last couple of weeks. So I guess that's another mouth to potentially feed. And I can't say that any looser than I just said that, as someone who is going to be a football player on the team, on the field. And I don't know what kind of, I don't know. Dolphins aren't like, oh, where's Josh Reynolds before this play? I don't think those conversations are happening. So Mason Taylor, there was a lot expected because Justin Fields has thrived when throwing to the tight end. He is the highest QBR in the NFL when targeting the tight end position outside of Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson. So he likes to throw to the tight end. The Jets invested a top 50 pick in Mason Taylor at the tight end position. So it seemed everything like this could be an interesting, whether for fantasy purposes out there or just reality purposes, that there was a realistic path for him being second or third in targets, depending on where you had Brees from a receiving perspective in the overall pantheon. I remember us counting targets back in the offseason. Well, if you carry the 2 and move over the 4, and I'm terrible at math, so I probably don't remember any of those numbers, but we haven't seen the breakout for Mason Taylor yet. Is it coming when he returns home, where he lived 15 minutes away from Hard Rock Stadium when his dad, Jets legend Jason Taylor, played for the Dolphins in that final game, and he spent a lot of time there, of course. So when is the Mason Taylor breakout coming? Is it this week?
Here's so I don't know if there will be a quote unquote breakout game per se,
Okay.
right? I was
Okay.
trying to think back to what happened with the Steelers and what happened with the Bears when I was trying to piece together a different video. I don't recall any game where a tight end necessarily like took over, like a four catch, 80, 100-yard performance, something like that. It's generally been that the tight end has been a reliable, effective piece in allowing the offense to drive down the field, right? So essentially, every time Justin Fields has targeted a tight end, it's been to um, get a first down, or it's been a decent chunk play, right? To get shorter field to first down. Mason Taylor, so when you look at the target breakdown, and I haven't seen this since the Bucks game.
Sure.
One, Garrett Wilson, historic pace, right? Like he's over
Mm-hmm.
40% target share. That's absolutely ridiculous if he keeps it up the entire season.
That's
But
impressive. Yeah.
when you look at everybody else, it's kind of right in line for the most part with what we thought. Garrett Wilson eats up like the next 5 or 6 players' targets. Like he has as many as Brees Hall, Jeremy Rucker, Taylor, and I think like Reynolds at the time combined, which is crazy. But I think there's also a little bit more of a roadblock than what many people expected. Mason Taylor isn't necessarily the tight end one, right? Jeremy Ruckert has actually gone out there. He's had a decent amount of success
Yeah.
somehow. And I'm not even mad at it. I still think Mason Taylor's the guy, but also there's no need to necessarily rush Mason Taylor and put that pressure on him to be this guy that needs to go out there and produce 5 or 6 catches every week for us. So I think with what he's done, it's been about what's expected, especially when you consider the complexity of the tight end position and what they're going to be asked to do, and kind of what this offense actually calls for a lot of the tight ends to do too. So I wouldn't expect anything crazy. I think he's a guy that maybe just might end up averaging 2 to 3 targets a game, maybe for the rest of the season, assuming the tight end room is healthy and they don't feel the need to make any changes. And that'll be a drop off from, I think, what many of the expectations are. But when I went back and thought about a lot of these conversations, it also felt like people were throwing Mason Taylor in this like 800 to 1,000 yard
Yeah.
like conversation. And realistically, you're probably talking at best like a 400 to 500 yard guy. So maybe he falls short of that, and that's just by virtue of kind of what's going on with the depth chart. But
Hey, I remember being fired up and I was one of the last people on this boat before it sank, the Chris Herndon train. And Chris Herndon, that rookie year, had like 400 or 500 yards receiving, kid out of Miami, all these crazy 180 catches. I'm like, oh yeah, baby. I'm buying all the Chris Herndon stock I could. And then I couldn't sell a lick shortly thereafter. But he had 400 or 500 yards, and I felt great about Chris Herndon. So you know what? If we could get some of that for Mason Taylor, that would be terrific. And yes, and go to Gator here. Will be nice to watch football today without throwing up for a change. It's just sort of weird. We're going to have this twice this season. Well, 3 times, I guess, if you count the bye week, where we're going to enter a Sunday with like no real ties. I mean, I'm sure we'll be rooting for, the Patriots to implode or the Bills to implode, which is always fun. But in all seriousness, you're just watching the games and watch whatever games you want to watch. So we do have that this Sunday, of course, today, because Monday Night Football. And then we'll have the Thursday night game later in the season against the Patriots. So that weekend, we will have nothing to worry about, relatively speaking, outside of your fantasy teams, and then the bye week. So, hey, this will be interesting. It'll be nice to change it up. So, awesome. All right, let's do this, DKB. Are you ready for the phone lines? You ready for the crazy fans that are clamoring to talk to DKB?
yeah, let's do it.
All right, you're a crazy bastard, but we'll jump into it together. Let's go. Hep timeout. Your calls next.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
What's going on, everybody? Again, Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green, back here. Thank you for that HEP timeout. The phone lines are open. That is a pinned comment on youtube.com/BoyGreen25. Again, make sure you like the video for my boy DKB. We're also streaming live on his YouTube channel as well. One of the best in the business. So make sure you guys like the video no matter where you're freaking watching, baby. We have 44 likes so far, but 100 people watching specifically on YouTube. What the hell? What are you guys doing? What are you holding out this like for? It's a giving season. For the love of God, make sure you guys like the video. It helps with the algorithm and gets us all in front of more Jet fans so we can keep growing this channel. Nurture it, water it, watch the sun bathe over it. Come on now, we need to get this together. But let's go to the phone lines because that's what DKB wanted. It's time to go to one of the most influential callers we have on this program. It is Easy joining us from the couch. What's up, Easy?
I'm an influencer.
Yes, you are. You're an influencer. You're influential. You influence the masses with your activity.
At least I don't have influenza.
Well, that's true. That could be worse. Sounds like that's what DKB was recovering from. So glad we're all on the same page now. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well, I got my ticket.
Yes.
It's it's in the thing, and I can't get it out. But the guy at Jet said just he can email it to me. But here's something: if they lose tomorrow, I'm not coming up. I'll sell the ticket.
What?
Seriously.
What do you mean?
Look,
Come on, man.
I am not. Listen, I'm in North Carolina. Okay?
Yeah.
I am not driving 1,000 miles round trip if we're 0-4. I'm just not
jump
do it.
Jump in the car with Indy. I think Indy and Philly Noodles are driving up from North Carolina.
Nah, they're not coming up.
What do you mean? They are coming.
To me. Well, here's the thing: if they lose, I'm not going. I mean, God forbid, I have to eat the $300. I'll eat the $300, but I'm not driving up if they lose because you got to figure gas, tolls, hotel, and food. It's going to wind up costing me like $700 to come up to watch an 0-4 team against Dallas. And knowing the Jets, Dallas will rally and do something stupid. And I'm trying not to be negative, but I know the Jets, so
Easy. Come on, man. We're all going to be together. 60+ Jet fans and Boy Green Coffee Club members and DKB. If you don't remember, we're going to the Jets Cowboys game. Yeah.
I already told you I'm not thrilled about, end zone seats to begin with. So we had this discussion a long time ago. Sure. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying if they're 0-4, I am just not taking off of work and spending even more money to drive up. I mean, at this point, I'm out $300. If I can sell it, I'll sell it for $150 to somebody. Give somebody a deal on it. But maybe a Dallas fan. Maybe your dad knows a buddy of his who's a Dallas fan that wants to go or something. But if I might not even go even if they win. So what? I'm just like, I'm serious. You don't understand. Because financially speaking,
of course,
it's a stretch.
But you're already committed. I'm the kind of guy that I'm stubborn. If I spent if I was in your position, I'm stuck with it. I'm like, damn it, I have to go. I already put the 300 and I'm in.
No, because you got to stop the bleeding. I'm already in for 300. If I drive, listen, here's what happens if I drive. I got to spend my truck only gets like 20 miles a gallon. Okay. I'm going to have to
checking the Cadillac.
I can't take the Cadillac because why do you think I bought the truck? Because I fixed the engine, then I fixed the transmission, and now the computer's going wonky. So I can't.
Okay. All right.
So, and the truck, I only have 600 miles on my truck because I was trying to keep the mileage down because it's a lease. But if they lose, I can't see putting, 1,300 miles on it in 1 week just to come up for that. I at least do have a place to stay if I go up there, so I don't have to pay for a hotel. I would have had to pay for a hotel one night because I probably would have gone to Chef Kevin's restaurant on Saturday night if I didn't have plans with my friends. Yeah, the meet. I might have, because I got a lot of friends that I haven't seen in a while. But I'm just like.
So wait, but you said even if they win, you might not go.
What he's telling you is you need to schedule for week 2 or week 3.
Apparently,
it's gonna cost me another $500 to come up.
Okay, but
I don't have that kind of funds. I have less than $5,000 in the bank, so It's not an enviable position for me to be in. As much as I want to go, and as much of a Jet fan as I am, and I want to go, but if they lose, I'm definitely not going. Plus,
And
my
if they
son
win,
I would have to play it by ear because my son needs me to puppy sit, so because he's going to
bring the puppy
Tennessee
with
for
you. Let's go. Let's go. I'm all for dogs. Rough. Let's go.
No, I'm not bringing a puppy to the Jet game. So,
all right. Well, I hope it all works out easy because everyone would love to meet you. I'm sure for the Jets.
but I
Cowboys
do want to talk football, though. I do want to talk
sure.
some football.
We can talk about whatever
All
you
right.
want. Yeah, you called in. Yeah.
So, I think I mentioned with MC2. I don't know what's wrong with him. I think he's hurt. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
Maybe, I guess.
And it may not even be that he's physically hurt. It could be like, what injury did he originally have? If you could remind me.
I think he had multiple. He this year, yes. Let's DKB's right. Originally this year, he's been battling a shoulder. Last year, it was multiple things. I think he had a groin at one point. He had an ankle, and then he was injured before that, the year before. So I don't know. He's had a lot of stuff.
I still think he's banged up. I don't
back injury
he's clearly,
too. Shout out to Rico the pup. That one I forgot about the back injury as well. Yes.
So he's clearly not 100%. Clearly,
I guess.
And, the Jets have done this throughout their history of taking injured players that definitely needed more time and rushing them back. That's what destroyed Chad Pennington for us. Now, I'm not saying it's this coaching staff that did that, but the Jets have traditionally tried to rush these guys back or let the players rush themselves back and not protect the players from themselves.
Well, so AG has made it a point to mention that he's not looking to ruin current or future prospects for players, to the point that we were upset we weren't seeing certain guys during like preseason or the early parts of the regular season. But
I'd rather see Stiggers in there.
Agreed, but
he's healthy.
MC2
I'll put a healthy player over an injured player anytime.
Just a couple weeks ago, it was MC2 saying that I feel the best that I have in years, though. So ultimately, you got to rely on the player's words, and his performance isn't matching necessarily what he's, I guess, showing.
Could he just be rusty then?
But
could he be rusty?
I think a lot of it is potentially just health and the fact that the scheme is asking him to do things.
Or here's the big factor that I think a lot of people are ignoring, the fact that Mosley is not there anymore calling plays. Because Mosley, CJ was like, he was the defensive quarterback. I mean, he was the quarterback, and he was great at calling plays and making sure that his players were in the right position, smack them on the right-hand side of the ass to get them to move over to the left, or you know what I'm saying? CJ he knew he could read the plays. He was probably the smartest defensive player out there on the field. We don't have that. I'm not saying this to take anything away from Sherwood, but Sherwood's a kid. He's still learning the position. Something that CJ Mosley had, he didn't even have to think. It was like one of those things, stuff was like automatic to him. It's like when quarterbacks get seasoned, when they're like 8-9 year veterans and they're still in their prime, and they can look at a defense, and just, they know right where to throw. They know before they snap the ball exactly who they're going for, and they already know who their second pick is in the contingency. They already have this built into their head. That's why Allen right now, Jake Allen. No, who's the guy in freaking Buffalo?
Josh Allen.
God, I'm sorry. That's why Josh Allen is like, now the reason Josh Allen is so good now is, first off, he's big and strong, and he's always got that threat of the run. But also now he's been out there long enough where when he looks at the field, it's not if this happens, that happens, that. No, it's already automatic. He knows. It's instant. That's why he's so much more dangerous and why he was MVP last year, because he's a fully developed NFL quarterback still in his prime. Whereas Aaron Rodgers is a fully developed NFL quarterback, but he's past his prime, which is
Well, let's put Jake from State Farm aside for a second, okay? Here's the other reason you say, like, boy, I'm not sure if I can come. What about this? The ECD.
Well,
Chef Kev specially made EZD for, well, EZ.
and I believe it's going to be delicious, but I'm not spending $500 for a plate of ziti.
Well, I know, but again, didn't you like kind of commit to this before? It's EZD. You have to come easy.
I'm going to do what my conscience tells me, and
okay.
And it's not an easy trip. First of all, I have to take time off of work, and I don't make that much money.
Yeah,
and
but
you know, it's a lot of.
Look, I can't say that I know.
If the Jets were 2-1, I'd be way more inclined to go, because I think if they were 2-1 right now, they'd be 3-1 after tomorrow. I think they're going to win tomorrow. I do
too. But here's the thing I would say. I don't know anything about your financial situation, Easy. But like when you committed initially, didn't you know all this other stuff was going to happen too? That you would have needed all these different things when you committed months ago?
Things were different when I committed.
Okay, well. Okay,
situations change.
Of course. Well, Easy, I hope you can come. It would be great. And I believe Chef Kev is still bringing the easy no matter what. So hopefully you're able to come for that, because Chef put that especially on the menu for you, especially for you to come to the game. So it would be, I imagine, it'd be pretty disappointing if we have easy and no easy. But yes, DKB, believe it or not, Jets Cowboys game. We're going to have 60 plus Jet fans and Boy Green Coffee Club members. I think with everybody all together for the game, it's like 65 seats or something, which is awesome. So shout out to everybody who is friggin' coming. We do have one ticket left, and I'm not even talking about EZ's ticket, apparently, which may be available to the next available caller may be available, but we do have one ticket left. So if you guys are interested, it popped up available, and that money will be donated to our Wounded Warrior Project charity that we're doing. So if you got, hey DKB, if you want to hop on a plane, baby, hop in a car and make a coast to coast trip, it could be yours, pal. And apparently EZ's could be yours too. There's a lot of tickets apparently available. Yep.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I got to try to make a baby girl a fan early. So
there you go. Yeah, work on that. Work on that, DKB, early and often. Just like here comes the choo choo. Wait, JTS chat. What? Yeah, there you go. Just try to kind of work it in there. I think that's key. All right. Let's go back to the phone lines. Either way, Chef Kev's food is a great reason for people to come, regardless of the records or anything. I think the cool thing is the camaraderie. We're all going to be together for the game, before the game, during the game. We have a meet and greet the night before, which, by the way, you guys can still sign up for. We can have a maximum of 60 people in the private room at Chef Kevin Gilbert's restaurant at the Cloverleaf Tavern in that private room upstairs. So if you guys are still interested, whether you're going to the game or not, you are able to come. I just have to put you up on the sign-up sheet because we have to have a head count for everything that's going to be going on. So let us know. But let's go back to the phone lines here. Hop on Pop joins us here on the program. What's up, Dad?
Hey now. That's Hop on Pop ZD now. So
is it?
Move
It's sort of like the stadium name rights. I guess it's available now to be taken by someone else.
Yeah, Hop on Pop ZD. It's only $300 to go to the game, and $200 buys a lot of ZD. So that can probably be 6 months worth of food there. Anyways, I gave my defensive most important thing for tomorrow night. Okay. Is keeping an eye on the running back for the Miami Dolphins.
Not a chance.
6 receptions a game, one of the best top receiving targets, running backs in the game currently.
Yep.
For 3 weeks. Here's my next one.
All right.
I know you've been doing trivia, right?
Yeah. So you want me to get the music back? Okay, wait, here we go.
I've got a quick trivia question for Boy Green.
Okay, for Boy Green. Okay, I've been doing it all over the DKB all show. It's time to turn the tables. Okay, trivia. Let's go.
Is the music playing? Because I can't hear it.
Oh, it is playing. Yeah. So just sort of pretend you can hear it. It's playing for everybody else.
Good. Yeah. Good. Where does Garrett Wilson rank in average yards?
Number one. Is he number one? I don't know what the question is. Is it number one?
No.
Okay, no, go ahead. Say the question. All right, go ahead.
Average yards per catch.
Average
Where
yards
does he rank among wide receivers for average yards per catch currently?
I feel like he's probably like 18.
I'll go no whammy, 15th.
63rd. The Jets need to push the ball down the field. 63rd. So you could do that. There's 32 teams in the league. He is, he's number one, to your point, as the third wide receiver in the NFL. So if he's the third right, you go through all number ones, number twos, you get to Garrett Wilson, right? 63rd. So we need to push the ball down the field. That's the point of it. It's not dig on Garrett Wilson. You can only catch the ball and, as your routes and as the offense calls them. But that is a fact, right? T-Rod or Tyrod or whatever, Railrod, whatever his name is, he's calling himself today. His average yards per completion is a mighty 5.4 on average, although he has a 70% completion percentage, very West Coast offense-like, right? Justin is 7.4, so more in the middle of the pack for quarterbacks. So anyways, got to push the ball down the field. I'm waiting for that play action pass.
Arian Smith, baby.
Pound the rock. Yeah. Arian Smith down the field. And let's get like an 80 yards per reception average for Arian Smith.
Hey,
so
Pop, real quick.
Yep.
Two things here. First off, Easy is now in the comment section saying, who wants my ticket? $150 includes tailgate and ZD. He's having that available. But then a fan, shout out to a Boy Green Coffee Club member, Leonardo Santos, says he's willing to donate $100 to Easy's travel to the game to make it easier for him. So the Boy Green Coffee Club potentially stepping up to help Easy. So I don't know what's going to pivot here, but thank you, Leonardo Santos. That's very kind.
Right. And if you get 50 more bucks, Easy gets to keep his ticket and get the $150 anyway. So there you go.
All right. So, one last thing here from Easy. He says, please don't send me any donations. Keep your money. I'm not a charity case. This is a business decision.
Okay.
So, there you have it. So
hey now. Whoa.
Hey now. Hey now. Whoa. Hey now.
Hey now.
Easy.
Looks like we're going to have some Pop ZD after all. Excellent.
I guess that is available. So unfortunate to hear, but there you go. So Easy is no longer coming to the game. That's unfortunate, but hey, hopefully all you guys have a good time, and we'll see if Easy's ticket sold to another willing Jets fan out there in the universe, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right, there you go. But anyways, I just want to get that out. We're going to push the ball down the field. The offensive line needs to live up to its billing, which it has been a little sporadic. They have not lived up to the billing, and the talent is there. So is that offensive line coach play calling, which, is actually a thing? Is it adjustments by Justin and Railrod, right, at the line of scrimmage, making sure they call the right, offensive blocking scheme? I don't know, but those are a couple keys to the game. We'll drop off so more easy bidders can get on, easy riders, easy ZD, whatever. All right.
There he is, Pop, joining us on the show. Colorful as always. So there you go. Apparently 2 tickets are now available, although more Boy Green Coffee Club members are willing to donate money to Easy. That's very kind of the Boy Green Coffee Club to help out with those things. So I would just say this again. Obviously, when we set this game up, we had no idea what the Jets record would be. I was hoping to be 4-0 heading into this Jets-Cowboys game. Obviously, that is not going to happen regardless if the Jets win tomorrow night. So, like I said, hopefully the good news is we'll put this back all together and we can see what happens here. But to me, it's always been about the camaraderie and us all hanging out together. And DKB, this is going to be the wildest thing because I haven't had a chance to meet you yet in person. But it's all these people that have been calling in the show for many years as this show has been going on to meet, the handle Hep or meet the handle of Badshaw. These people, that's going to be the wildest thing of all time to me. So I can't wait. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds fire. I definitely, at some point in the future, once I can get the kids to travel with me and all that, I'm definitely looking forward to attending one of these.
Yep. All right. Well, Easy is back here. Go ahead, Easy.
Listen, I appreciate everybody wanting to donate the money. I really do. I really, really do. And this is a hard decision because I really want to meet you guys. I want to go up there and meet you guys more than I even want to see the game.
Okay.
So this is really, and I really wanted to see some friends and all that. I just don't think that I can make it.
Okay.
It's just that
It's your
simple.
decision, man. Yeah.
I really, what I would like to do is figure out how the Jets can get the ticket back to you, so
Okay.
that when somebody pays the 150, then you can give them the ticket. I don't know exactly how that'll work. Maybe we could have a three-way talk with the guy at the Jets group ticket office and figure out how to do that. But if someone wants the ticket, it's $150.
Okay.
Because I
So
don't
there
want to charge 300. I'm just, I can eat 150, but
Okay.
like I said, I don't want the ticket to go to waste. I want
Yeah,
someone who
we
really
definitely
wants to
wouldn't want
go,
that.
because there are people out there that just couldn't afford the 300.
Definitely
and
so.
and
Yes.
and some local guys who are in Long Island and New Jersey, that it's not going to be a hardship to go to the game because they don't have to pay for travel, gas, tolls, hotel,
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
They could just leave their house and go to the game. And the other thing is, if I'm driving up, I'm going to have to pay $45 for parking too. So it's a lot.
So yeah,
It
easy. Why don't
truly-
you do this? 100%.
This whole trip would cost me. This is what I'm saying. This trip would cost me, from leaving the house to driving back home, $500.
Yeah, so let's do this. You reach out to the Jets ticket office. They'll find a way to get that ticket back to me, and then we'll figure it out from there. So we'll work on that for you, Easy, for sure. All right, let's go to our next caller here. We've got Neil joining us on the show. What's up, Neil?
Put Easy back. I want to ask him a question.
I don't think he's with us anymore. I don't believe.
All right, he'll get back on.
Okay.
When we had the Raider meetup with the Asmaniacs.
Yeah, out in Vegas. Nice. Yeah.
Out in Vegas. There was a guy that wanted to come with us so bad. Bonesy.
Oh, yes.
You know who Bonesy is.
Yeah.
He was the Asmaniac champion in the thing last year.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, Bonesy wasn't able to go to the game, and he had the kids, and it was a big financial thing, and it was going to Vegas. It was a big ordeal, not like coming up from where is Easy in North Carolina?
Correct. Yep.
So what I did is I put a bet into the game the week before, and Jeff Parles is out in Vegas, and I said, Jeff, I'm going to put like $500 on this game, and if it wins, I'm going to use the proceeds of my winnings to get Bonesy out to Vegas for it.
Oh, that's cool.
And he picked the game. We won, and I used that 500. So it's not charity. It was just me giving the winnings to Bonesy to be able to have him come out to Vegas. Yeah. And let me tell you something. That changed his whole perspective.
All right, here's your guy, AZ, as requested, Neil.
All I need is what? Oh.
Football, friends, and family.
AZ, let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And again, I get the whole charity thing. But let me just say this to you. What if, this isn't the 1700s. We have airlines, flights.
Yeah,
what is it?
I
What is it? I have like a shit ton of Amex points that I don't even use for flights because I can't fly anywhere. The North Carolina to New York flight, did you look into that at all?
I did look into it when I first bought the ticket, and the flight up was inexpensive. It was around $50 to get up there.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
Well, let me finish. The problem was going back. They wanted like $200 for the ticket to go back, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I really didn't want to have to drive, but
let me ask you this: what's his name is going? IndyJet. Who's the guys that live in North Carolina? Paul.
IndyJet.
Well, I know Woody, but he doesn't. But
Noodles.
he's coming up himself.
Yeah, flying. Yeah,
he's flying. What about the other two?
I think Indy and Philly are driving up. Yeah.
Oh,
you see, I just
Indy
bought
and Philly Noodles are driving up.
Yeah,
and where are they? How far is Philly Noodles and the other guy from Ed?
That I don't.
Well, I'm Raleigh. I'm in Zebulon. So if you're coming from Raleigh, you have to pass my house to get to I-95. I'm about 20 minutes from I-95 in Rocky Mount.
Yeah, but let's look at this out. Let's look at this as an idea. Let's just toy it around. Look, the reality is, if they're 0-4, I agree with you. We don't want you taking time off from work and everything. Nothing's worth that. I'm boycotting.
Well, like I said, like I said, the whole I already got 300 for the ticket, so I'm not even counting that. I'm just saying, for me to drive up, I live in North Carolina, so the only way to avoid the tolls is to go through Gettysburg.
No,
you
forget the
go up in
driving,
Virginia.
Ed. Forget driving.
Yeah.
Don't you drive for a living?
Yeah, I drive for a
Hey,
living too.
1 second, guys. Why don't you guys have the private chat? So feel free to use. You guys are both on the call. Stay on the call. You guys can utilize the private chat and speak about your travel arrangements and see if you guys can get it figured out. I hope you guys can. That's great. But let's try to answer some other jet things while you guys are working on that on the side. Feel free to do so. We have 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. DKB. Anything else in this Jets Dolphins game you haven't gotten a chance to get off your chest?
No, man, I'm just really hoping we kick somebody in the teeth Monday. Like
Yeah.
A win really would at least bring back a lot of the positivity. You imagine there's going to be some performances positively we haven't seen from players just yet. But yeah, I don't know. Is the world going to end for you if we end up losing Monday night?
Say that one more time.
Is the world going to end for you if we end up losing Monday night? Like, what does 0-4 look like for you and the rest of the season?
It'd be pretty devastating, I would say, to be 0-4 and losing to the 0-3 Dolphins. And again, because we're both 0, that's stupid to say. We're both winless. So they would go win full as we remain winless. And we'd be one of only a handful of teams without a win so far this season. It'd be hard to muster. Like, I don't think the Jets are going 0-17. But it would be hard in the moment as we're, Jets Cowboys, regardless of whatever happens, I'm in. I'm going. So as I always will, and I can always, create that optimism and belief. But to lose to the Dolphins with their head coach who could be fired at any moment, like it'd be a tough pill to swallow. It'd be a tough pill to swallow. It's hard to make excuses for that one. Like all these other ones, they lost the Steelers. Okay, the Steelers are halfway decent. They're either in the same pool as us or just a tier above. The Bills are awesome, obviously. The Buccaneers have been to the playoffs 5 straight years. They're pretty good. So, the fact that we've ended up at 0-3, you could sort of understand. The Dolphins are in complete disarray. You mentioned Tyreek Hill's questionable body language, for God's sakes. The Jets have to beat the Miami Dolphins. Have to.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be on the other end. I don't know if it'd take a blowout or anything, but if the Dolphins were to lose to us and we effectively end up ending their season, I can see the news rolling out the following week where, the head coach fired, GM potentially gone, and they're pressing reset in season. It'd be nice to be the cause of something for that happening instead of it being the other way around for us.
Yeah, well, again, it's got to be one of those things where, when people say, "Hey, Paul, Jets losing," I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I've not even envisioned that possibility. That's not even in my vernacular. Winning at all costs is the only part of my vernacular, and the Jets need to do it. They need to beat the Miami Dolphins candy ass all over the place at Hard Rock and let the whole world see it on Monday Night Football, baby. And I think the Jets can do it. I 100%. I don't think the Dolphins are some impossible foe. Have they had our number? Obviously, the series history speaks to that. 14 of the last 18 times they've beaten us, but it's time for the Jets to sack the hell up and just, do the things that AG is saying. He's saying all the right things at the press conference, in my opinion. He's saying the right things, talking about the penalties. I'm seeing the right activity on the sideline. It's just, we just need to see it all come to fruition, and no better time than Monday Night Football to get AG his first win. I think the team needs it, not just we as fans need it. I think the team needs that belief that, everything AG's saying is just validated with a win. Now let's start turning this thing. The Cowboys are this winnable game. They're not going to have CeeDee Lamb. They're not going to have some of their pieces, and they're in our house, and we just hopefully got our first win of the season on Monday night. So for me and the Jets and all that jazz, that's it. I think this is pivotal for the team and their belief system here, DKB.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say a team is buying in and there's being zero results to prove that that's a winning scheme, culture, etc., whatever it is that he wants to point out that he's building. But I think it's possible. You mentioned if I thought this was going to be like the Mason Taylor game.
Yeah.
Not, but I do think this could be the game where you potentially see Arian Smith have like that big, explosion, yards, whether it's touchdowns, multiple touchdowns, etc. It's a good chance, right? I think he ran like 83% of the routes last week.
Encouraging, right? Yeah.
And that secondary for Miami, it really is. If there was going to be one that was probably worse than us, it might be Miami. So if Justin Fields is going to have another day like he did against the Steelers, this is definitely prime opportunity for that to happen.
Yeah. Well, let's just friggin' figure it out. Like I said, I don't give a bleep how they do it. I'd love a blowout win. That'd be cool. We haven't had one of those in a while. Give me a freaking kick the can off and screw everyone else on Monday Night Football. I wanted a competitive game. Competitive this, you losers. I want to rip off a dolphin's head and put it on a pike. And I don't care how graphic that is. That's what I want to do. I want to I just want to grab a football and shove it in their blowhole. You feel me here, DKB? Huh?
Yeah. I'm on board. I'm on board. That's yeah. We're good.
All right, DKP. By the way, before we sign off on this show, give us a plug. If someone, because we are streaming live on your channel right now, and obviously on all my different platforms here, for people that are like, who the hell is DKB? What are they going to get if they go to your channel as a fellow Jets content creator? What are they going to get? Serve it on a silver platter, like some fresh EZD out of the oven. When they waft that in, like, what are they smelling?
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. Draft breakdowns, of course, once we get around to that time.
When is that time normally?
Depends on how quick the Jet season is.
Fair enough. Okay, proceed.
No, I would say I've been pretty consistent about waiting until we get to like all-star events and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
okay. Oh, thank God. All right.
Ramping up once we're probably like a month away from the draft.
All right.
But a little bit of everything, obviously, latest news, rumors, just some of the original takes and thoughts I have. I think if I had to encapsulate, I don't know how rare this is within the community, but just based on what I see, I it's not overwhelming.
All right.
Most of what I try to produce content-wise, it's out of there. Or at least I should say the thought process and everything is from an optimistic approach.
All right.
So I try to be objective about how bad things are and all that, but I can give some silver linings into what at least we have to look forward to if there's anything there, right? So not to say I'm pulling rainbows and sunshine out of my behind or anything.
Sure.
But there's usually some kind of fact or reason to back up that stuff. So yeah, man, it's just fun. Regardless, we've been through a lot of crap with losing and all that, and there's always been something positive to speak to, feel better about, or look forward to. So at the very least, if you want good vibes, check me out. And I get to link up with guys like Boy Green and plenty of the top guys around the community. So it's been fun.
I need to ask you a question, DKB, and I'm gonna be honest, it may make you uncomfortable, but we just got to address this. Are you ready to answer this question?
Yeah, always.
What's the good word?
The bird is the word, sir. It's always the good word.
Damn straight it is. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on a Sunday. DKB, absolutely love doing these collabs when we can. So shout out to all the. One more question, actually. You know, my people have called themselves the Boy Green Coffee Club. They named themselves. They just came here every morning and did that. What are the DKB people called? What are they called? What is your community called?
We still don't have one. Like I threw out a bunch of names.
Okay.
And
all right.
The theme, it seems like, is that everybody is just so DKB X Jets is from I guess it's kind of a reference from like anime, if you will. Like think Hunter.
I love anime. Okay, great. Okay.
Just being my initials, and then the Jets were the topic I was talking about. So I was like, how can I combine these? I'll just throw X in there, right? So like people are just willing to take the X piece and then just insert whatever it is that they want for them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I don't think I don't think at large as a community yet. One, we may not be big enough, but two,
Oh, stop it, DKB. Don't be giving me the DKB X bullshit, man. Come on now. You can't be giving me that. Your community is plenty big enough. And by the way, I know one guy who knows about that. Let's get to another caller here who is a architect for both of our channels. What about Gator McCluskey, baby?
Hey, man. What's up, DKB?
What's going on, Gator, man? Long time no see.
Yeah, man. Good seeing you. Thanks for squeezing me in. I won't be long because I know you're trying to end the show. But I did want to say about this Monday night game.
Yeah.
I think it's the most important game that we're going to play maybe in a really long time. Just specifically because everybody's playing the narrative of, well, these first three games, against winning teams. Buffalo obviously is a favorite to go to, maybe even go to the Super Bowl.
Sure.
And nobody expected the first year Aaron Glenn to be able to beat the Steelers, and of course that Tampa game had everything about it was against us, it seemed. So if we don't beat Miami, what story is that going to tell about this coaching staff and about the future of this team? It really is the turning point for the season, and for a lot of fans' hope for what this coaching staff brings, that's going to separate them from the last two coaching staffs. So I really think this game is everything. It really is. So you can't take it lightly. I mean, obviously there's a Miami team on the other side that has a fan base and an organization that looks at us and says, well, the 0-3 Jets, we got to beat them. That's like,
I'm sure they're
they have
saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, same exact narrative. So everything on the season and maybe even beyond in terms of what we think of this staff hinges on how the Jets perform, because here you go, you're finally playing a team that you should beat, or you should at least compete with.
Mm-hmm.
Go punch them in the mouth and prove it. And if they don't, man, Tuesday's going to be a dark day in the history of us Jets fans and our hope for the future. So let's do it.
Damn straight. Gator, you're the best, baby. Salute to Gator Gash Darn McCluskey, baby. By the way, here's another question. Thank you for the call, Gator. DKB, what time do you do your show normally? I think I've asked you this before, but I suffer from short-term memory loss. So,
I don't do lives as much.
Okay.
We just started doing memberships like a week ago, maybe.
Okay. What is it called? So you have memberships. What's your thing called?
I think I just put like tier 1 is extra, tier 2 extensive, tier 3.
Oh wow! So you went pretty hey, you didn't color it up. You're just like, hey man. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Because for me, I just got one level. It's just Boy Green Coffee Club. So just one thing, all just kind of shoved in a box. So I was just trying to see if we can work on that. I see Teabaggers is gaining a lot of momentum. The DK Teabaggers is gaining a lot of momentum in the comment section. Beautiful. Hey, look at number one Austrian Jet fan gifting another membership too. Coffee Club. Hey now. Great branding there. Thank you, number one Austrian Jet fan. By the way, that membership went to Ryan Dezawa. Welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club, my friend. And by the way, our number one Austrian Jet fan just gained himself another raffle ticket. He is up to 148. He is trying to break a world record. And many props to you, number one Austrian Jet fan, for continuing to do your part, baby, here on the program. While we're still working on that DKB name, another phone call. Let's get to Ted, NY Jets FL. What's up, brother?
Paul, good morning. Good morning, DK.
Morning.
You guys made interesting. I have so many. I can go so many directions on that call. On the last few calls, God Almighty. But the most interesting thing that you made is the Jets or the Dolphins will have the same record as either Baltimore or Kansas City. And I know you.
Huh.
Oh no, we lost him.
Oh no, there was such a great point. So I guess if that's where it ends, it's not bad. I mean, that's true. Think about that. We got Ravens, Chiefs 1-2, 1-2, and one of them will be in that ballpark. God bless myself. Anywho, we lost. My sneeze just sent him away. Sorry about that, Ted, but That was a great point, though. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy that we do have Ravens Chiefs, and I think we got them back. So let's give that a discount double check. That was a great drop the mic moment there, Ted. But please go ahead.
Oh, the highway is murking him.
Oh boy. Geez, we lost Ted again. Oh wait, do we have Ted back? Bring him back, Ted.
It's the Ricky NY Wi-Fi syndrome.
Yeah. Don't get that package long term. That would be my suggestion. But please proceed.
Sorry, fellas. Yeah. So I mean, no matter how you slice it, I know the Ravens and Chiefs probably have more talent, but one of them is going to have the same record as the Dolphins or the Jets. And based on the weaknesses of Kansas City and Baltimore, I mean, you could see. Like I think Kansas City's missing a wide receiver, a number one receiver, which they'll be better. But Baltimore's defense is horrendous. So there's a lot of teams, like you said, DK, that have more than severe limitations. And if your dad's listening, Paul, of course, the Dallas defense. I hate to break it to him, but
suckers! I can't wait to roast their ass, baby. That's it, Ted. You need to jump on a private jet and get your ass up here so we can walk all over the Cowboys candy ass at MetLife Stadium. Come on now, come on, man. Let's go.
I might do it. But let's get a win and get healthier and get Justin Fields back, and the schedule, like everyone said, is favorable. Let's just roll with that. I know you're running late, Paul, and my Wi-Fi is probably iffy, but I'll just say that the AFC, maybe the AFC is weak. I mean, can you name any dominant teams besides the Bills in the AFC right now?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the Chargers.
Okay.
Ironically, enough, the Colts look pretty good.
Oh yeah, Indiana Jones, baby, Danny Diamonds. Yeah.
Wait till after today. We'll see how that goes. But he's going to see a real defense. He's going to see a real defense.
Ted, I appreciate you, man. And yes, they play the Rams. So let's see if Indiana Jones is still chasing crystal skulls and temples of dooms. Following that one, we'll have to see what happens. All right, our boy DKB. We'll wrap it up here. So we're still working on the name. So, are you a fan of the DKT baggers? Is that revving your engine?
I don't know if I go that far.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know how everybody would take that at first. At first here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a work in progress. I know a lot of the names originally given the last time I jumped on the show. Those are still making the rounds through the grapevine, and the feedback is generally positive. So,
great. All right, so you were rudely interrupted. So DKB, what do you bring? You said you do a little bit of everything, and that's what you love hearing from any answer in life when someone asks you that question. So DKB, everything. What do you do? A little draft stuff, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What's your week content schedule look like? I know you're coming back from your illness, for God's sake. So you're right back on the wagon here. But if we just take a week, a normal week of content for DKB, what am I getting?
Yeah, it just depends on what kind of catches my eye.
Okay, so it's morphable. So you sort of adapt to what is presented.
Yeah, like I think a lot of it's timing stuff too, right? Like around now, early in the season, I'm not really talking any draft stuff per se.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, but yeah, it depends. Like so, right now, of course, it's going to be reaction. Win loss, was happening on game day, stats. Player breakdown stuff. Closer to draft season, let's say a month out, I'll start dropping a lot of stuff in terms of the player breakdowns and stuff there. Always love talking about trade rumors, stuff that's going on with the team, the players we need to keep an eye on. Quentin Williams, for example, no guaranteed money next year. That's a topic I don't think many people are keeping an eye on enough. And then coaching staff and just front office changes is something I really love diving into. It's weird, for example, thinking that after year one, actually, I like that. That might be
okay. DKB Daggers. Thank you for Lily.
It's odd to think that after year one, the DC is the one that might end up being fired and reset, and the OC is the one that's actually sitting pretty.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, a little bit of everything as mentioned. I think jack of all trades, master of none right now, but That's generally the go-to, and then
Okay.
normally I try to drop something Monday through Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Good Lord. You're a
Yeah.
freak, man. Well, I guess you got to do whatever you got to do wherever you are. And then last question here, I see Reese. What the hell happened to Syracuse yesterday? Yeah, they lost like 38-3. But let me just say this. Okay? Because everybody's waiting on the outside. Oh, what happened to Syracuse? They upset Clemson last week. Let me say this, okay? That was the most bullshit call I've ever seen, where a Syracuse receiver catches the ball. He's going to the ground, clearly his knees down. He gets sent to the shadow realm, getting blasted in the head. What happened to targeting, which, by the way, was the original flag on the field for targeting? Helmet-to-helmet contact. He fumbles because he lost consciousness as the ball was coming from him. And then the refs come in and go, oh, yeah, clearly targeting, Syracuse ball. And they're like, whoa. Let's take a look under the hood. They go under the hood and they're like, not only was it not targeting, but it was a fumble too. Duke ball. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then Duke went like scoring 1 million points in a row. So we got effed, man. The entire momentum of the game got swung. You may call it excuses. I may call it just facts, Jack. So we got fucked. That's what happened. So excuse my Guatemalan here on a Sunday morning, but we got effed, which sucks. Big one. Anywho. You know, catch any of that? Are you a Syracuse guy?
Prison rules. No, I'm a Rutgers guy.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Look, it lines up with what's going on with the Jets. So,
I guess it's all on brand. Well, DKB, let's sign off the show here. Shout out to the 400 people out there in the universe. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, show your support. We'll be back on. We've got a full game day coverage coming on Monday with pregame show, live watch party, post-game show, and hopefully a celebration happening here on the program. Wait a second. Do we have another call? Indy Jets?
Just wanted to say good morning. Everybody subscribe to DKB. He does. You're right. He says he puts out a little bit of everything, but the little bit of everything that he does put out is fantastic. So get on it, get on there and give him a little shout out each time you see him, and to close out the easy thing, that would add 3.5 hours drive.
Not your
to
business.
My
Indy.
To my 10-hour drive.
100%.
I know.
That's definitely not your responsibility. You know what? He's a grown man. If he doesn't want to go or wants to go or whatever he wants to do, hey, that's on him. If he like sacrifice the ticket, says Paul, if you want to sell it for half the price and if someone wants to go, I'd rather that seat go to a fan than having a little extra ass cushion for myself or whoever is next to him. I don't have the seating chart in front of me. Hey, man, that's all cool with me. So if someone's out there in the universe and is interested, reach out on social media and we'll figure it out. But I'd rather someone want to go and enjoy that experience. So
absolutely. And I'm just going to throw a little plug in there for the Panthers game.
Yes. Jake Asman's doing something, right?
No, we got the Jake Asman. That's the weekend, but Dylan Terraman is coming into Charlotte to the Charlotte Jets club, the bar that me and Philly always go to. And one thing that they do, that is their fundraiser weekend. And so every week when we're there, we do a 50-50 raffle and some other things, but all the proceeds go to the Marty Lyons Foundation. So we've got that weekend, we've got a golf outing, we've got all kinds of things going on that entire weekend. And then Dylan Terraman's coming in for the actual game. And so if there's anybody that's anywhere near Charlotte that weekend, drive into Charlotte, come into Dilworth Grill, support the Marty Lyons Foundation.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the shout out, Indy. And by the way, speaking of the Marty Lyons Foundation, this is a plug I didn't know I was plugging today. They're going to be partnering with us for a raffle coming up. So stay tuned for that. A special Boy Green Coffee Club special and raising money for another wonderful cause in the Marty Lyons Foundation. More on that later. I've given you officially 10 goodbyes, DKB, but this one is the most meaningful version. I love you, man. I love when we get to do the show together. You bring a different vibe. You just bring swag, man. You just bring this sort of like, hey, man, I'm here, you're there, and here's the show. And I love your analysis. So I love when we're able to connect the dots, brother. You're one of the best in the friggin' business. So whether it's the DKB daggers or the teabaggers or whatever the hell we're going to call all these wonderful people, the hundreds that are listening or the millions watching at home, whoever it is, it's all good in the hood, baby. That's the good word. So love it, DKB, and thanks for gracing us with your presence, brother.
Yeah, appreciate the audience as always. BG, best in the business. If at the very least, guy, we need to get you to be next in line to replace like Bob Wishiushin or something like that.
Oh shit! Okay, all right. Hey, works for me. I don't know how much longer Bobby's got with it, but Bobby, if you're looking for a replacement, there we go. I'd love to be the radio play-by-play voice of the Jets. That'd be sweet as all hell, baby. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, make sure you show your support to DKB and his YouTube channel here on the program. Like his video, hit subscribe, do the same on this YouTube channel, and we will be back with more Jets coverage, a full game day show, all coming up tomorrow. Same for their DKB. We'll see you guys then. Take care, everybody, and